Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into the microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Papers, Please blind. So let's go to sleep and start the next day. A Republican track star wanted for murder. Vince Lestrade's whereabouts unknown. Has likely fled Republia. Vince Lestrade's profile. Girlfriend killed in jealous rage. I wonder if he'll come over the border. Like, it's far too conspicuous to see his profile in the newspaper and with his photo no less, and then not encounter him in the game. So I guess I'll have to keep an eye out for this person, because I don't think he's going to be using his real name. That would be kind of stupid. Okay, so let's work to work then. Alright, I am now authorized to detain suspicious individuals, interrogate discrepancies to enable detention option. So I guess it is going to come up. Shutter, time and date, blah blah blah. Vince Lestrade, but where is his... Is it not going to give me his photo? That definitely seems weird. So how am I supposed to... Was I supposed to remember how he looks like? How am I supposed to catch him if it doesn't give me his photo? Like, if I am supposed to remember how he looks like, then that's quite a steep requirement, if you ask me, especially because I wasn't like notified before that I'm supposed to remember that. I definitely don't, so especially because most of the characters in the game look very much similar, so I don't think I can get him on his looks. So unless he's stupid enough to try to cross the border using his real name, I don't think I'll be able to catch him. Okay, so the rules are still the same. Arstotzkans need an ID card, and foreigners require an entry permit. I wonder if I'll see the guy with the hand-drawn passport again. Yuri Kostava was his name. Okay, I think I'm ready. Duration of trip, transit. Duration of stay, 14 days. Okay, so this is right, but this is in the future, so you can't enter at this point. Purpose of trip, work. Duration of stay. Stay a year. Okay, this is right as well, but this is also in the future, so go away. What? That doesn't make sense. Transiting. Transit. A couple of weeks. I guess. Vince Lestrade. Wait, that's him. How do I... It was a setup. Don't believe Republican lies. Okay, you go away. Next. Purpose of trip, work. Duration of stay, a year. Okay. Enter by, but I totally don't get this enter by part then, because to me it definitely seems like it's not valid yet, unless it can't be later than this. I don't quite get this? Well, I guess I'll test it by denying her, and if I get a citation, then I'm understanding it the other way round. So maybe I was right after all. Not quite sure. I hate this country, passing through, so transit. 2 days. Yeah, but this is enter by. Well, let's test it. Let's approve her. Well, that's the problem with English not being my. Okay, so I totally don't get it now, because I've done 2 things that were contradictory. Visiting friends. 2 months. Enter by. Okay, so this is in the past now. So let's approve him, and it'll tell me if I get a citation. Then it'll tell me which way it works. Yeah, expiration. So it's an expiration date. It's not a passing through. Transit. 14 days. Enter by. Blah, blah, blah. Isn't this photo wrong though? It is different. I had surgery. Okay, I don't quite. Oh wait, I have an option of examining his fingerprints, but I don't think the country is going to care, and it's quicker this way. Purpose of your trip: beautiful day, free from integrity and tyranny, forever. Piotr Vostok, blah blah blah. Enter. Okay, maybe it's right. Forever, this is okay. Passport number. And kind to my wife, she's just after me. And she's going to have an invalid passport, right? And it would definitely be. Did you see my husband? Made it through. Yeah, she doesn't have a permit. I guess I can stomach 1 punishment. You go through. Oh, I got like a trinket. Purpose of the trip: pass through, so transit. Duration of stay: 2 days. Blah blah blah. Enter by. I think Melegard Alexa. Okay, I think this is right. Oh, for fuck's sake! Those issuing cities are going to kill me. Come to work. 1 year. Okay, this is right, I think. And Thea Hawkman. Okay. Oh, visit in a couple of weeks, I guess. Novosho-Roman. Let's hope that's right. Although DG, passport number. I don't have time to check all that. Purpose of your trip: transit. Couple days. Is 2 days a couple days? Not quite sure. Zaterka Alexander. Blah blah blah. FTPV. Okay, I think this is correct. A visit, so that's right. Duration of stay: a couple months. Korista city, this is right. F. Zora Garzoniv. Oh, this is Zera, I think. Yeah. Multiple names. Well, actually, it's the last person of the day, and I think it can't end. It can't end until I process her. So I guess I can use it as an opportunity to check this option. Give this paper to applicant. So does that match? Okay, so Zera alias Zora, I guess. So is she? It does seem to match. Can I use this? Yeah, matching data. So I guess she is allowed entry after all. That was definitely convoluted. Although I would laugh my ass off if it turned out after all of this that I've made some trivial mistake and she's barred from entry anyway, and I'm going to get a citation. But let's try it. Okay, so I guess she was allowed an entry after all. My son is sick again? What a right bastard he is. Well, I guess it's going to be another holiday for my family because I won't deprive him of food or heat at the time of him being sick. Now, a couple of things I wanted to comment about this day. I'm still making a lot of mistakes, and even more with each level because it's becoming more and more complicated, but I'm still earning some money, and it's definitely good that I saved a lot of it in the easier levels. Without it, it would be a lot more difficult. And now I've also got a pin as a thank you from the wife of the guy. She didn't have the proper documents, but I let her through anyway. So that's a cool thing, you know, a small small in-game narrative that you can impact in a way, you know, someone's life at the cost of your personal comfort. So that was definitely cool, and I'm looking forward to more situations like that in the future, and it would definitely fit the theme of the game, you know, you being only a small cog in this totalitarian state's machine, and you can make those small choices, but in the end you also have to be wary because obviously if they ever caught on to me bending the law, they could probably execute me or execute my family. And another thing I wanted to comment on is this guy Vince Lestrade, the murderer. So it's interesting to me because I started to wonder. He was saying something like, oh, it's Republican propaganda, I didn't kill her. And I started to wonder if that might in fact be true. And it's a very difficult thing to wrap your head around because, let's assume you're a policeman in a totalitarian state. Now, obviously, probably most of your work is going to be provided you're like a regular policeman and not part of the political police. Most of your work is going to be centered on fighting actual criminals, like, you know, robbers, mostly robbers probably, but also murderers, rapists, and whatever. And it's a good thing to stop those people, regardless of whether you're a part of a police force in a totalitarian state or in a democratic state. Those actual criminals would still have to be stopped. That's why I always get kind of annoyed at people like people always assuming that if a person was a policeman or a militiaman, as they were called in communist Poland, if you worked as a policeman at that time, then you're always like bad. You always had to, you always had to contribute to oppressing like regular people. That's not really true. But then again, at a certain point, that might definitely be true. Like, and that brings me back to my original point. Like, some of the people that you are ordered to persecute, or not persecute, but some of the people like that you are ordered to, for example, detain or arrest, they might be actually political prisoners, but you might not be informed of that. And that brings me to this guy who's supposedly a murderer, but the thing is, I don't really know that. I can only rely on the newspaper telling me that, and the newspaper is literally state-run propaganda, so like, for all I know, it might actually be true, and he might actually be a murderer, but then again, he might also be like a counter-revolutionary, and they are just smearing him. There's no way for me to know that, and like, as frightening as that is, as a real-world perspective, it's definitely cool as part of the game. It definitely broadens the narrative for me. Okay, so that's all I wanted to talk about for now. But apparently I've got a booth upgrade here. Space key to toggle inspect mode. It's only 5 credits, so I think I'm going to take it. To be honest, I would much prefer to toggle the what's the word? The part where I stamp the passports, rather than inspect mode, because inspect mode is definitely less used. But I'm going to take it, if not for any other reason, than because I wonder if maybe there are other upgrades in the future, and maybe they are like tiered. Maybe I need to first upgrade this to enable the other upgrades. And as I said, it's only 5 credits, so I think I should be able to manage that. Yeah, I still have some money left, so let's go to sleep. Jobs few becoming fewer. Yeah, right. Immigrants coming over here, stealing our jobs. It's probably a talking point that exists in every country, like even democratic countries. You always hear some people complaining about immigrants, stealing their jobs, which is a bit of a ludicrous statement to me in most cases, because really, if an immigrant comes, like an unqualified immigrant comes from abroad and he doesn't know anyone in the country, he often doesn't even speak the language, and he takes your job on first day, then that really doesn't tell the best things about you, if anything, because what it essentially means is that you yourself have such low qualifications that you are outclassed by a person who literally came into the country yesterday. There's actually a pretty famous sketch about it. I think I'm going to post it in the description. What I mean is comedy sketch. I'm not sure if I'm using the English word right. Vincent Lestrade apprehended. Looks quite guilty now. Yeah, that's the problem. I'm not sure if he really is, but I did what I could, and let's hope he was really guilty and he's not being framed. I wonder if I'm going to read about his execution in one of the future papers. But let's walk to work. Ministry of Labor, special program to control immigration. Travelers entering for work require a work pass. So that's even more documents I need to... Oh, for freaks... Yeah, I'm definitely starting to be afraid of all that. And it's still an early stage of the game, like... Look at the amount of space left here. I imagine by the end it's going to be fully filled with different kinds of documents. But also, that reminds me of another thing. The enter by part. Like, I guess it's a problem with English not being my native language, because I was rather confused by that, because to me the enter by part was suggesting that it needed to be, you needed to enter past this day, like that the entry permit became valid at a certain day, but apparently it was the other way around, so it's essentially an expiration date for the permit, which I guess makes more sense, but again, English is not my first language, so that's why I was confused by that. Basic rule, oh, that's a lot of rules, and it's still a lot of space left. So basically it's mostly the same. It's just that if they come for work, they need a work pass. Let's go then. Come to work. Duration of stay, a year. Okay, so that's right. Jan Hartmann, this is entry by, this is seems to be okay. Until, and this is in the future, Jan Hartmann field, surveying. The photo seems to be okay as well. It seems to be correct. Okay, so it was correct after all. Purpose of your trip, plan to work, half a year, so this is right. Another one of those pin-up girls. Freya Seva, this is right. Freya Seva here. Food service, until, this is correct as well. This is right. This seems to be right. The photo is correct as well, so I think she should be cleared. Cause no trouble, please help me. A man promised my sister good work. I do not trust him. I am afraid he will take my passport and force me to work at a brothel. He's in line, please do something. So I guess I am supposed to not allow him entry. Duration of stay, a few months, 3 months, blah blah blah. Visit. I didn't pay attention to that. It's a lot of things to take in at once. This seems to be right. Anna Korczakova. Okay, I think she's allowed to entry, but I didn't pay attention because there's a lot of things happening at once. Yeah, right. Yeah, invalid issuing city. Have a job. Work pass. Dio Altan. Great Rapid. This is right. But the entry permit is invalid, so you can go away. Oh, that's the Yuri Kostava guy. I'm back again. And he has a better forgery this time, but unfortunately you don't have an entry permit. Funny guy. Well, better luck next time. Run a strict border. This is good. Do job right. Okay, purpose of the trip, Mirelka Mostova, 6 months. This is right. This is right as well. The photo seems to be okay. Healthcare. This is until this is right as well. Seems to be in place. Oh. So that's the guy. That she wants me to stop from entering the country. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Worst case scenario, I just inconvenience him, and best case scenario, I helped some girl. Purpose of the trip, transit. But where is your... This is all becoming a little bit cluttered. Where's your passport? Transit, Glorian, mail, Calcalis. Okay, it seems to be okay. Come to work. Full year. Okay, so this is right. A female, Naira Navorskova, agriculture, blah blah blah. I think this is correct. Purpose of a trip, transit. A couple of weeks. Okay, Nicole Doroszka. What the? What's happening? Oh, it's another. Oh, for freak's sake! It's another terrorist attack. You'd think with all the additional guards, they would have managed it a little bit better, but apparently not. Now, a couple of things, and I can only imagine what kind of additional impositions on my work this is going to bring, but a couple of things I wanted to comment about this day. There was this guy I denied entry because of a plea from that girl. Now, it's another case of, like, she said, he said type of deal, because I don't really have any evidence that what she said is true, but like, it was definitely a very real situation, like a situation that actually happens a lot in real life, you know, people bringing in workers from abroad and then holding their passport so that they cannot leave, especially in conjunction with like sex work. What she said, you know, she was being afraid of of her sister being forced to work in a brothel. It's definitely something that happens in the real world. And as I said, like, out of the two possibilities, I definitely think it's better if I just inconvenience the guy. Like, if he was innocent, I'm sure he would find another way to enter the country, like after spending some time on a waiting period or something, and then he'll be cleared to enter. So that's a little bit of an inconvenience, and that sure sucks if he was indeed innocent. But the alternative is, you know, he might have really planned to do that, and if he did, then I definitely feel kind of proud of stopping him, because it definitely seemed like it was something that the state itself wouldn't care about. You know, maybe it was even legal, like from strictly technical perspective in Arstotzka, to do what he was planning to do. So I guess in this case, it's up to if the law of the state is unjust, then it's up to every particular citizen to do what he thinks is right in a given situation. But that is also a dangerous presupposition to make, because you have to ask yourself at what level does the law become truly unjust. It's a very complicated judicial and philosophical question, but that's perhaps better saved for some other day. Now it seems everyone is more or less okay in my family, and I'm slowly running out of savings, so I think no food for you this day. Yeah, and another thing, I also totally forgot about the upgrade to the booth, and I was still manually clicking, but it doesn't matter that much because I only spent like 5 credits on, or is it, I don't know, Arstotzkan dollars? Not quite sure. 5 money units, whatever, on that upgrade, so that wasn't much, but I should definitely pay more attention and try to use it now that I bought it. Yeah, I'm kind of torn between taking away the heat as well, just to save some more money for the future, but maybe that's enough for now. I think I'll alternate. That seems to be more reasonable. My family has to get some comforts once in a while, so I guess they can have heating today and food tomorrow. But yeah, I think this episode has been long enough, because another day would be like probably 20 minutes at the least. So I think I'm going to end it here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, and glory to Arstotzka.